Hello folks, welcome to Bards and Books, where today I will be discussing the Great Leveler Trilogy, also known as the First Law Standalones by Joe Abercrombie. The original First Law Trilogy remains my favorite series of all time currently. Naturally, I had to get to these. It's quite a surprise that it took me like a year to get to them, but hey, I'm here and we will be discussing each book. The first one is Best Served Cold, second is The Heroes, and Red Country finally after that. So while I think that these are considered standalone novels, if you are diving into these, I would suggest doing them in order because they really build off of each other, and events that take place in the first one, are built in the second, and there's a lot of referencing back, and if you are unaware of stuff that happened previously, it might not be as enjoyable to follow. So really, if you're going to dive into these, do them in order, treat them like a trilogy. But I'll talk a little bit about each individual book, and then afterwards, definitely we'll dive into a lot of the unifying qualities that they all obtain. Let's start with Best Served Cold. This is a brutal, bloody revenge story. The structure in this one is pretty different from the original trilogy, whereas some people might have had issues with the original trilogy regarding the plot or lack thereof. I would say that Best Served Cold might solve a lot of problems for people who didn't like that. It is pretty clear-cut. We follow these characters through a sequence of events where revenge is the main theme, and Abercrombie really dives deep into this theme, and we see just how much these characters, well, some of them, change greatly in the pursuit of revenge. Is it worth it ultimately to pursue this idea of revenge? Just how much will it take from you in the process? They say if you seek revenge, prepare to dig 2 graves. The subject really takes a heavy toll on some of these characters, and in the end it's up to the reader to interpret, is it even worth it? Is revenge even worth it? So I like how Abercrombie took a different approach with each character that's in this motley crew of a cast we have, and I think there's something that'll resonate with everyone, with every reader. All kinds of personalities and changes and growth or lack thereof that these characters go through. So I enjoyed the heck out of the story. It was awesome to be back in Abercrombie's world, like I said, after such a long break. And after that, we moved into The Heroes. Now, this was my favorite of the bunch. I gave this one 5 stars. The main theme of The Heroes is war, the brutal, bloody business of war, and the key word is business. It dives into all the horror and nuance and politics involved in a setting like this, and we see how unimaginably common it might be for people to put relationships and reputation and glory above everything, even above winning the war itself, if that needs to be the case. The Heroes really manages to capture the chaos and carnage involved in this business of war so well, and includes this really unique structure of POV hopping that really helps to accentuate those elements. So in addition to these themes of war and morality and human nature, we also get a whole bunch of action sequences, a lot of battles, so if you love that, then you'll definitely enjoy The Heroes. But moving on to Red Country, now this has a lot of fan-favorite characters, so a fair amount of nostalgia was brought up in me while I was reading this for the books previous, as well as this really cool setting, this gritty western atmosphere. It just made for a really badass story. There's quite a melancholic tone to this story, as we follow these characters suffering from loss and just a whole lot of trauma, and it's really interesting to see the sometimes subtle, sometimes profound change that they might pick up and drag along with them through their journey. And whether it's for a better life or to just be a better person, it's pretty incredible how far things can stray from where we originally planned. So themes of self-preservation, of greed and betrayal run rampant in this book, as well as the previous books, and this is where I'll start to get to those unifying qualities that permeate throughout all three of these books. So being grimdark, these books do have this ongoing theme of the struggle of morality and how emotional and philosophical and nuanced of an idea that is. But it also provides a really deep lesson on value and virtue and, you know, stuff to just mull over for a long time, even long after you've read the books. Great trilogy, you know, this standalone trilogy, I guess if you want to call it that. Great books, fantastic work, and also I am just really looking forward to where the story goes in terms of the behind the curtains elements with these subtly powerful characters that are just, you know, scheming or trying to plan stuff for their own purposes. I still don't know what the heck is going on with these subtly powerful characters, but a lot of behind the curtains stuff, and I can't wait to see where it goes. So a lot of questions still to be answered, but I'm looking forward to diving into Sharp Ends, the short story collection, as well as The Age of Madness, and anything that comes after. Finally, I want to end on some quotes that I'm going to read from these books, which will give you a great indication as to what you can expect, you know, some of the philosophy, some of the themes, some of the content that you might expect from these books, to give you an idea of what it's about, or, you know, if you haven't read it, whether or not you want to read it. So the first one here is from The Heroes. It goes, "The truth is like salt. People want to taste a little, but too much makes everyone sick." And here's one from Best Served Cold. It goes, "The difference between hero and villain, soldier and murderer, victory and crime, is which side of the river you call home." And another from Best Served Cold. It goes, "People would rather believe a lurid lie than a sorry string of accidents. Would far rather believe the world is full of evil than full of bad luck, selfishness, and stupidity." And finally, I want to end on one that touches on the title of this trilogy, The Great Leveler, meaning death. And this is from The Heroes, and it goes, "Life is not fair. There is no pattern. People die at random. Something that everyone knows, but no one truly believes. They think when it comes to them, there will be a lesson, a meaning, a story worth telling. That death will come to them as a dread scholar, a fell knight, a terrible emperor. Death is a bored clerk with too many orders to fill. There is no reckoning, no profound moment. It creeps up on us from behind and snatches us away while we shit." So not the most uplifting of quotes, but, you know, this is grimdark. There is meaning, there is purpose behind it if you look a little deeply, and still happens to be one of my favorite subgenres of fantasy, so I will continue to read a lot of it, but that is my review for The Great Leveler. I really love these books, and like I said, I can't wait to continue. Joe Abercrombie is just a masterful writer. Not for everyone, but if you enjoy great character work, really heavy themes, and philosophical elements, there is a lot to enjoy here. So that's all I will say. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.